Alright, so that was a crazy game. Spurs win 119-114 over the Raptors. And let's start with Toronto and some of the stuff that jumped out at me. Two guys, Chris Boucher and Fred VanVleet. First of all, Fred VanVleet is worth every penny that Toronto is going to be paying him in the next 4 years. He was awesome, creating shots left and right for himself, for others. The dude can hit contested threes like nobody's business. And the last three he took to tie the game at the end of regulation was seriously halfway down. And just what a story, you know? Undrafted out of Wichita State on that great Wichita State team that was 35-0 with Ron Baker and Cleanthony Early and him. And he was really like the third guy on that team. And if you said back then, like, yo, out of those three, VanVleet is going to by far be the best NBA guy, I probably would have disagreed with you. But, you know, shows what we all know. Anyways, he finished with 27 on 50% shooting, 9 assists, only 1 turnover. He was great. Chris Boucher, undrafted. This dude, I don't know what his wingspan is. Let me get you his wingspan. He's listed at 6'9", but he looks much taller than 6'9". He definitely plays center for them. He looked like he was just as tall as LaMarcus Aldridge, and LaMarcus is 6'11". And this dude looks like he probably has like a 7'5" wingspan. Crazy. The dude was built in a lab to play basketball. But he had 22 and 10 boards tonight and 7 blocks. God damn, yo. Anyways, this dude steps out, hits threes, offensive rebounds, defends well. I don't know how this guy went undrafted, especially with all of his, like, the great measurables that he has. But there's just Toronto doing what they do. They have 7 undrafted players on this roster. Yet they win 50-something games last year in a shortened season. They're competitive again this year. They are 0-2, but I do think they'll pick up some wins as the season goes on, and they should have won this game. They really probably should have. Lowry had a shot, I believe it was 115 to 114. Spurs were up by 1, and Toronto was going to take the lead in the last 20-ish seconds or whatever. And Patty Mills and DeJounte Murray miscommunicated on the dribble handoff, and Lowry got a wide open 17-footer. And it was just one of those where he didn't even expect to be that wide open, and he left it short. But like I said, like, Toronto really probably should have won this basketball game. And Kyle didn't have a huge game in the stat sheet. He was 6 for 15, 16 points, 10 assists. You know, typical great defense, typical timely shot making besides that last shot. You know, he was great. Siakam, it seems like Siakam's struggles from the bubble are continuing a little bit. He was great on the boards today. He had 15 boards, 8 assists, and he's a great defender. The thing with him is he really just needs to develop a half-court offensive game. And that's much easier said than done, because that's probably the most advanced skill set of any skill set in the sport of basketball, being able to score in the half court. But he just doesn't have it. His spin move is so predictable. I was watching the games, and whenever they kind of clear out and like spread out the lane for him and ISO him, I was like, all right, here comes the spin move, and he's typically going to go left to right. And every single time the Spurs were ready for it, and he was probably like 1 for 7 on that spin move this game. It was rough. He's not looking too hot. And I believe the Raptors have paid him already. Yeah, so I don't know if that's going to be a good contract, yo. As much as I applaud them for taking the risk on VanVleet, the Siakam contract might not be great. And I would not put it past the genius of Masai Ujiri to actually trade Siakam, even though he's super young, just came off an All-NBA season. Because I think there's definitely going to be a dumb team that would really want this guy. Again, young, All-NBA player, he's under contract, that all seems great. But I think there's a legitimate ceiling to your team if he's your best guy. And I think Masai probably knows that too. So, you know, just saying, perhaps a James Harden for Siakam. It's got to be someone else to match the contracts. I don't know, Siakam and maybe Norman Powell, who was pretty horrible this game. And then a pick for James Harden. I don't know. I think that would be interesting for both teams. But anyways, let's get to San Antonio, who is 2-0. Incredibly, I think everybody probably thought this team was going to be pretty bad this year. But I've been up on the young guys on this team. I think Lonnie, Keldon Johnson, DeJounte Murray, Devin Vassell, their rookie. I think all those guys are good. Jakob Poeltl, another good guy. The problem last year, I hate to blame Pop and act like I know more about basketball than Pop, but these guys never got a chance to play, and it was a lot of Bryn Forbes, it was a lot of Marco Bellinelli, a lot of LaMarcus Aldridge and Rudy Gay. And all those guys can't play defense. So even though the Spurs offense last year, I believe, was 10th in the league, which is good, it's top 10 offense. Their defense was horrible. They had like the 28th defense or some shit like that. And there's still residue of that on this team. Obviously, now that they're playing more of their younger guys like DeJounte, Lonnie Walker, Keldon, those are all great defenders. The rookie Devin Vassell projects to be a really good defender. Poeltl is a good defender. So just our ability to sorry guys, I'm a Spurs fan, but their ability to stay in front of guys is much better this year, but the rotations are still not there. There's still a bunch of miscommunications. Literally, like I said about that last play with Lowry, they almost gave away the game on a miscommunication. And it's just at times the defense felt lazy this game, which is not what you want to say about a team who doesn't really have the talent to be playing lazy defense, So I feel like they're playing with fire, and they were definitely playing with fire this game. But thankfully, DeMar was awesome tonight. Total all-star performance, and DeMar's been great the last 2 seasons. People just start sleeping on him because Spurs weren't good last year. But I almost hope San Antonio's good this year for his sake, because he has been seriously incredible, super efficient. He was 3 for 4 from 3 this game, had 8 assists. He's always been a low turnover guy, only 2 turnovers today. Patty Mills, 8 for 9. He was 8 for 8, except his last shot he took was an open 3-pointer on like a scramble play when the Spurs were down 1 with under a minute left, and LaMarcus ended up getting the rebound and putting it in, which ended up eventually being the game winner. But Patty was great. Patty is kind of like the new Manu of this team. Does a lot of Manu type things, gets a lot of random steals and random offensive rebounds that are just backbreakers for the other team. A triple-double from DeJounte, solid game from Lonnie. He was only 2 for 8 from 3, 6 for 14 in total. I felt like when you're watching the game, he was playing better than that. Vassell was 3 for 5, made a 3, had some boards, played some good defense. But guys, Rudy Gay sucks, yo. And he sucked for his entire career. He's gonna probably finish with like 20,000 career points. The dude can get buckets, and sometimes he's low-key really clutch. But for the rest of the game, he's horrible. His defense is bad. He takes bad shots. He dribbles into traffic so often. And there was a couple times this game where he dribbles into traffic. It becomes like this scrum for the ball. And the Spurs just got lucky that they came up with it and got some free throws, or sometimes they made a layup out of it. But it's a complete mess. He's a complete zero on defense. And if I have to watch Rudy Gay play 30 minutes again in a competitive basketball game, I might gouge my eyes out. It's horrible. So San Antonio's probably lucky to get this win. But they sit at 2-0 now. They're still waiting to get a healthy Derek White back, who I think is the best player on this team when you consider the defensive aspect, because obviously DeMar is the best offensive player on this team. But Derek can score on all 3 levels. He can pass. He can defend. He's definitely just the most well-rounded, all-around guy on this team. And he's also a little older for the younger guys. He's 26, I believe, or he just turned 26. So he's about to be hitting his prime here. And I'm actually probably most excited to see him play this year and see his development more than anybody else on this team, because he was killing it in the bubble. He was averaging 21, 5 and 5 on efficient shooting. They made a point to get him to shoot a lot of threes in the bubble. Pop said he wanted Derek to shoot 10 threes a game, and I hope that continues this season, because if they do, if Derek can stay healthy and this roster can, for the most part, stay healthy, maybe less Rudy Gay minutes, this is a sleeper playoff team, guys. This is a good Spurs team.